Hello everyone. We are going to work on some coloring today. We're going to have fun coloring somebody else's components in order to make the components feel and look as if they are from our brand. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because I want to show you how I work in the industry, and then later on you guys can change the components, modify the components, or even create your own components. But for the sake of speeding things up, I am going to show you how to modify somebody else's templates, because I believe that that is very powerful, especially when you are working towards speed. Today we're only colorizing. We're not going to be editing the components. So I'm going to ask you, I know that you guys may want to edit the components. I am going to strongly advise not to edit the components and only edit the text and the colors. Why, Christine? I want to play around a little bit more and do really cool stuff with the components. Well, because we're going to be using these components later on for the rest of our training. So we will be editing the components. And so if you guys, make changes to the components, then later on you may get lost, right? When we are getting into something a little bit more complex like auto layouts, okay? So I strongly advise not to change the components. Now I'm going to be sending you 2 links. The first link, let me share here. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you this link, and this is components for email, right? Now these are free components designed by a company, an email company. And what I want for you guys to do is to open it up. What we're going to do is we're going to open it in Figma. Once we open it in Figma, we are going to then rename the file, right? So I'm going to open it in Figma here, and I'm going to say, well, okay, let's open it on Belsync. All right. How's everyone doing so far?
Good.
Very good. All right. Once we have it open, I want you to go into the name and rename it, okay? So we are going to call it, instead of latest design community, I'm going to put Christine Deer. Okay, so all email components, Christine Deer, right? And as you can see, this is living in your draft.
Okay, I have a stupid question.
Yes.
Am I writing Christine Deer or Diana Turner?
No, you're writing your name.
Okay.
Nice. That's very good question. Some of you actually follow very close instructions. Very good to know. Very good.
The link, the email component link that I'm supposed to be finding.
All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going, remember that awesome library that you've been working on for the past 2 weeks? We're going to bring that awesome library in. All right. So how do we do that? We're going to call in our library, or we're going to link into our library by going into the library icon here at the top right corner. Does everyone see where I'm kind of like highlighting? All right, so we are going to go in here and we're going to click on the libraries, and we're going to go into the tab. See how it says current file? This is the current file we have. Then it says your teams. So we're going to go into our teams library. And I can see that my teams have 2 libraries. One is for Bells, Florida, and the other one is for the Bells team. So anyone that is on the Bells, Florida, go ahead and add that file to Bells, Florida. And anyone that is on the Bells team, go ahead and add that file or that library into this file. I'm gonna go ahead and I was just recently working on Bells, Florida, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that file in, right? So now what happens is I have linked all of those colors And all of that typography, I have linked it to this file. So now I can utilize that, right? So I'm gonna click on the X button here and close that window. Is everyone with me?
No, Christine, I'm going to be your problem child.
I'm confused too.
All right, I'll be there in a second. So now everyone, we are going to have fun. So I'm going to show you how to colorize a couple of them. We're going to go to headers and then Command plus, we're going to zoom in, and Command minus zooms out, right? Another little trick, if you press your space bar, do you see that little hand? You guys recognize that hand, right? And then now I'm going to, with my mouse, click and drag, right? So we're gonna go into the first one right here. Okay, so as you can see, we have a logo and we have some links. I want to make changes to this, right? Because we have our own branding. And so what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to kind of like modify already created components. How do I know this is a component? Because right next to the name there are 4 little diamonds. That is how I know this is a component. If I were to see this like so and no name, right? But then on the side, see on my left hand side, I see just 1 diamond. That means that this is the child or the instance of a component. We are not going to be modifying instances. We are going to be modifying, as you can see, we are going to be modifying components. All right, so let me delete that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, yes.
Sorry, how come it says hug? Are they hugging?
That's a great question. We're going to get to that in a week or 2. What that means is that is using the hug auto layout, right? And we're not gonna get into that right now because that is a whole nother training day that we're going to just be dealing with that. And that is one of the reasons why I'm asking you to not edit the components, to only edit what we're going to edit today. Okay, so what we're going to edit today is colors and logo. That is all we're going to be editing today. So as you can see, I'm going to click. Very good question, by the way, Savvy. So what we're going to do is we're going to click, right? So see how I'm getting into the container and then clicking again, and I'm in this image, right? Instead of the image, right? Instead of editing the image, instead of going in here and filling and editing that, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our assets. See how we are layers and then assets. And in our assets, we're going to click and we're going to look for a logo. And as you can see, I have the Bells Florida logo here. And those of you who are in the Bells side will see the bells. I'm going to click and drag that Bells logo into where, very close to where that logo is, okay? And there it is. I can change the color of my logo by going to the right hand side of the panel, of my properties panel, and I'm going to change the color to blue. Okay, so now I can see a little bit of blue in that logo. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the layers, and I can see that I have inserted that Bells Florida inside that image, and that's not exactly what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that layer and I'm going to take it out of the image by clicking and dragging and placing it on top. Now Bells Florida is in there. Now what I can do is I can resize my logo. The way that I resize my logo, remember how we resize with the scale tool, not the move tool. So we're going to scale, holding shift. We're going to scale the logo. Ooh, we're going to scale that logo to however we kind of like think that is actually good, right? And then we're going to grab that logo or that image, and we're gonna delete it. Okay, so I'm gonna check on everyone. And those of you who did this with no issue whatsoever, you have lots of logos to go. All right, I see everyone is doing very well with this. So now what we are going to do is we're going to change colors. We're going to have fun colorizing some of these. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let's say I want to go into the navigation, and I'm in design. Of course, I'm having a little bit of, there we go. Let's go into navigation, into the links. Why am I not having, there we go. Sometimes it does that. If you don't see all of your properties, right, design properties, what I do is I click on prototype and then I go back into design and then I get my properties. It's like a weird thing that Figma has. So then I'm gonna go into navigation, right? And I can see that these 4 items, these 4 links here that are inside navigation are the same color, selection color. Guess what we can do, guys? We can go into our library. So we go into these 4 dots over here, and we're gonna click on that. And what we're going to do is we're gonna select our brand color. We can either do blue, we can search for gray, we can do gray. Of course, I don't suggest the gray because that wouldn't be accessibility, but I do have another gray in base under basic, right? And so I can then select that gray, and now I have those 4. So if I click on each one, I can see that my fill is linked to my library, to my BFL basic gray 100. Everyone with me? Guess what else I can colorize? And I would love for you guys to colorize everything, right? So we're gonna go back into the component, and I'm going to click, so you can see I'm now in the container. And in the container, I can see that I can colorize some other stuff too, right? But instead of colorizing it, what I'm going to do again is I'm going to go back into that icon style, and I'm going to add my primary Florida. Now, I apologize for the Bells Florida. This brand Bells Florida primary, that is actually how the development team named through the website the color. This is why you get this weird color name here, and it's because I copied it and pasted it into yeah, that's what they decided to call it through their CSS. And I'm like, well, I need to know what color they're using, right? And we are using as well, which I know that Denise sent, I think Denise sent the colors. We need to get with our development team to be 100% with the colors. All right, so now I am locked in on that color, and now this is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I can also go in here, and the fill is white, right? Doing the white as well, because I have a white. Because remember, if I want to change that color later on in my library, I want this to also change. So we are going to link all of these together. All right, so now what I want you guys to do is keep on going. And we're gonna do a couple of these, and that is pretty much what we're gonna be doing for, oh, the text. Let's not forget the text. So now that we did the colors, let's do the text. And once we do the text, I'm gonna let you guys do a little bit of lab, all right? So I'm gonna click back again into those links, right? And I'm gonna grab all of these links, and because I know all of these links are the same size, the same font, I can go into text, and under text, instead of railway, what I want to do is I want to go into my variable icon, this little hex here. I'm gonna click on my hex, and I'm going to apply Mr. Eves, boom. And then I'm going to do regular, apply variable, regular. And then I'm going to also do the size. So I'm gonna go all the way down and I'm going to apply, I think 14, maybe 16. 16 is looking all right. So then I'm doing 16 and then I will do the paragraph, a line height that I have for my fonts, right? And that is how the cookie crumbled. So now what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to keep on working on all of these goodies, headers that we have here. And if you want to go and venture out, yeah, go ahead and venture into the footers and the buttons and the content and all of the other stuff that is ahead of you guys. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes of lab, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you another really cool plugin. Happy creating. So it's been just about 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna send you guys another, where is it? Here it is. I'm gonna send you another plugin. Where are you guys? There we go. Okay. This plugin is a design system tracker. And you're like, what is that? Well, I'm gonna show you what that is, because it's like the most amazing thing in the world. So what we're going to do, gonna wait for you guys. See, this one is different. It says open in, right? So the button is different from open in Figma, from our email components. And then this one says open in ... So the difference is this is a plugin, this is a Figma file. This one is a Figma file, so we open in Figma. This one is a plugin, so we're gonna open it inside a designed file that we are already working on. So we're gonna click on open in and we're gonna decide where we want to open it, right? And I'm gonna open it in all email components, Christine, because that's what I'm working on. And I'm gonna wait for everyone. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, so is everyone ready?
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to hit run. So we are going to hit run.
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that, okay?
Nope. And I did everything that you just did,
That's totally
but without
fine.
run.
Okay, let me go to you. Let me finish here, and then I'm going to go into each one of you to kind of like problem solve. So we're going to click on scan this page, and it's going to scan my page, and it's going to tell me all of the colors that I still have unlinked from my library. All right, everyone, that is what I wanted to show you today.